Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
Welcome to Scene Snobs podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, joined as always by my partner on this magic carpet ride, flying high, seeing the world for what it is, with a tiger in tow, maybe, but I'm not sure. That is Casey the Man Plot. How you doing, buddy?
Great. It is wonderful as always to see you, my friend. I'm doing fantastic this evening, especially with a carpet and a tiger. If we don't have a tiger, I don't even know if it's worth it.
I would just kick that tiger off, Life of Pi style.
Not even, bro. I'm cuddling that tiger. The tiger and I are going to be friends. You'll see. A few scratches here and there, but it'll be worth it in the end.
I feel like if you kick a tiger off because of their object permanence, if they survive, I'm done. They're going to find me wherever I am.
It's going to find you. It's going to know Mick Manhattan, and it will find you.
It will never let me go.
It's going to be full on Liam Neeson, bro. You got to get out of that 1,000-mile radius, or 500 kilometers, whatever they call it.
But guys, welcome. It's Tuesday night. We feel all right. It's just us tonight, buddy.
It is, man. It's an entire show of us. It feels like we've had some fantastic guests these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful to have them. It's nice to have you and me again, pal.
Oh, yeah, I definitely like that, and I'm so glad it worked out. Dave Kerr was going to join us tonight. Unfortunately, he had a previous engagement. Now, guys, if you don't know who Dave Kerr is, he's a good friend of ours, and he is a great filmmaker, horror filmmaker nonetheless. And he, of course, we love his movie Bloody Summer Camp, but he is collecting now crowdfunding for what's called The Slasher Nurse. It is a takeoff of an older movie that he had worked on, and he is upping the ante with this one. It's going to be really fun. There's a lot of great stars in it, and he is getting the money behind it. So join in, because there's a lot of great perks there too. We will have the Indiegogo account linked down below so you can check it out. But Casey, I know you know as well. What do you think?
Oh, I'm super excited, man. I mean, I miss the fact that Dave isn't here, because he is one of my favorite human beings. I love that guy. He's got a fantastic dryness about him that's just wonderful. Yeah. And his vision as a director is fantastic. It's been a blast watching him grow, seeing the movies he's put out. Go Away is coming up soon. That'll be shooting to be released, I believe, this summer. So super excited about that.
Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But maybe, just maybe, we can get Go Away to premiere at Skyline.
Oh, man, that would be amazing.
I would absolutely love that. I hope you guys will come out and check it out. As you know, guys, I'm the director of the Skyline Indie Film Festival, which has our last chance submissions out now. So if you have a film or something, or you know somebody who does, and they want to submit it for the 2023 Skyline Indie Film Fest, go on down. The link is down below. You can click and put it on Film Freeway. Yeah,
absolutely. Check it out. And please make sure to let everybody know. Spread the word. If you can't yourself and you don't have a movie, that's fine. Hit up other filmmakers. Hit up friends in your feed. Hit up anybody you know. It's a fantastic time, and it's a wonderful experience. And we're super excited for what director Mick is getting ready to offer. Now, as far as the Indiegogo link, I mean, once again, this is about Dave Kerr on Slasher 15 Productions. The whole team is fantastic over there.
Oh, yeah.
I've been a fan ever since Bloody Summer Camp. The first Carolina Fear Fest was our opportunity for me to meet them, get to know them. A lot of the producers, directors, actors, they're all fantastic people. So super excited to be able to support them. And hopefully you can, if you can't, share it around. Maybe someone can.
That's the biggest thing. And I hope everybody understands that. We love movies here, of course. We're so in depth in it. Like we work around them constantly. We're always talking to filmmakers and such. And I think it's important for everybody to know, like, it's okay if you can't donate. We know times are tough. We know how inflation's going. So, but just keep in mind, social media is very real, very prevalent, and it doesn't cost you anything just to share it out, because you never know who will see it and then donate there and help out in a big way. So go ahead and do that. It's important. And while you're at it, maybe hit like on our videos or our podcast, follow, and share it out with your friends.
I mean, it feels like the right thing to do. You're already here, so you're halfway there. Go ahead and finish it off and tell us what a great time you've had by listening to us, or tell us how terrible we are. Just remember that you give us that 5-star rating and tell us how awful and how angry you are after listening to us.
And Scene Snobs, of course, ends with an S, because the last S means we suck.
Oh, I thought savings.
But I would say savings. We're saving you from being bored.
Exactly. We're saving your time from boredom and wasting away. So congratulations and thank you.
Oh, I didn't mean we sucked at this. I meant we suck.
No,
in
no,
general.
just an overall life suck. No, I'm with it.
You know what else I hear sucks?
Middling to average at best.
That's fair. You know what else I hear sucks? And that would be the
Loneliness?
new super. Well, I mean, there's something to be said about chilling out by yourself sometimes.
Oh, sure. No, absolutely. I'm all about making sure you make time for yourself. It's healthy. And as I always say, be kind to yourself. And that's important because you need to make sure that you take that time for yourself, whether it's taking a little extra long shower, making sure you take care of your nails, flossing, whatever it might be. Just take that extra time because it's worth it. Maybe you need a face mask. I love face masks. They're wonderful. Clear my pores, make me feel better. Yeah. So take that time for yourself, y'all. But what were you going to say, suck, Mick? Because there's a lot of things that suck in the world.
From what I'm hearing on Rotten Tomatoes, Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Oh, my giddy aunt.
Now, I will tell everybody this. We talk about movies and we review them here as well. I am not holding to that it sucks until I see it. But there's a lot going on with Rotten Tomatoes today. And the critics it's about 55% with 81 reviews going on. It's been fickle all day. Let me ask you, Case, with that going on and seeing that early, these reviews, this was such a highly anticipated movie. I mean, I remember they were talking about this breaking in a good chunk of money.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think by just what you've seen in the trailers and such?
So from what I've seen in the trailers, it looks great. I'm not going to lie. It looks like what you would expect. I don't want them to reinvent the wheel here. It's Super Mario. It's the game we started on NES all those eons ago, and it's pretty basic. I mean, we've already seen what happens when you try to do anything different, i.e. like Super Mario Brothers with John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins, who I love both of those actors. And I really dug that movie when I was a child, although I was severely confused by it and thought it was me. So as I got older, I realized it wasn't me. Some studio just took those and went nuts with it. Yeah. And I was hoping with this one with Chris Pratt, I mean, all the voices sounded on point. Everything sounded right. And then I'm hearing these like everyone phoned it in or there's not really the heart behind it. And that hurts, man, because I had that fear with Sonic and Sonic turned around and showed up and was good. Yeah. You know, we've seen video game movies do what they're supposed to do. If there's a cheesiness aspect they want to do with this, I mean, Detective Pikachu did that. You have Ryan Reynolds, so there's always that tongue in cheek. Everything is a little off. You know, it's a little offbeat. And it worked. It worked really well to bring that to the big screen. And I was hoping Mario would do this, but it sounds like it just fell flat.
It scares me a little bit. And now I'm not saying that this is the case or the true fact to it all.
We don't know yet. This is all speculation. Yeah.
But I feel like video game movies, I'm not talking television series because I know people who Last of Us fans are going to go crazy when I say this, but
I'm right here.
And again, there's always exceptions. Fair. There's always exceptions to the rule. But I feel like if you take a video game property and you make it solidly an all live action movie or an all animated movie, something doesn't work. Something the fans like we can go back to, you know, just for a few examples, of course, like the original Super Mario Brothers, as you mentioned, or what was it? The other one you like, Uncharted. Yeah, yep. Uncharted. You know, and again, and it's not that you had spoken highly, and I like the movie, and I know a lot of fans are just kind of in about it, but you had spoken because you know it so well. That's your favorite game series. That is. It wasn't your Sully, and because of it threw a lot of things off.
Absolutely.
And you know, so I find that interesting in the fact that as we're going on and we're talking about more video game movies coming out, and if Super Mario Brothers does well, definitely more. I know they kind of push this one fast because Sonic did so well, Sonic and Sonic 2. Yeah. But Sonic 2 Sonic and Sonic 2 were live action and animation mix.
Right. They Roger Rabbited. They put them together.
Yeah. And I think when you have video game properties that do that, it works for the time, it seems. Now, are there exceptions to the rule? A lot of people seem to really like the old Mortal Kombat movie. I remember I liked it when I saw it.
Which was great. No, I'll still stand by Mortal Kombat because all they did was take the characters and give them an opportunity to shine.
Yeah.
And they all just fought. And then we had cool kills. Like, you know what I mean? So it did it right. It did it right because it kept it simple.
I agree. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, please.
No, I was just going to say, I agree with you on that. The only thing I would say that they didn't do right about it is I don't feel like it stands the test.
It does not. It does not. And a lot of that is Goro. Like, a lot of that is the special effects at the time. The character actors, though, nailed it. Christopher Lambert is tough to stomach as Raiden. I mean,
he's tough to stomach in a lot of things. Like,
look, Highlander is one of my all-time favorites, and you will never take it away from me. No one will ever take it away from me. But Christopher Lambert struggles in a couple of those movies.
He struggles in every single movie he's in.
There's a couple scenes that he could have done better.
His line delivery.
I know.
In everything, in life. I just feel like in life,
ordering groceries is a hard time for him. As he's like, "Can I get this lettuce?"
It's actually kind of borderline scary sometimes, but but I like him. Like, here's the thing: I really like him in movies. I like when he shows up. I thought him in Highlander. It was such a. If you took him out and you put, like, let's say a serious actor at a time, let's say Michael Douglas took that role.
Okay.
Right? You lose a lot of things by having somebody like so famous in it. Now, granted, Sean Connery's in the movie and he is very famous, but Sean Connery went in playing a side character, supporting role.
He did. And he also went in knowing that he could still, at that point in his career, be Sean Connery on screen. He could say, I'm a Scottish guy who was a Spaniard. He's a Scottish guy playing a Spaniard who lived in Japan. None of it makes sense.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's a Scottish guy playing an Egyptian who lived in Spain who spent time in Japan.
Yes. You can't leave out the Egyptian portion of that because remember they had the eyelashes for some reason.
Yep. Darkened eyes, man. It was a thing.
So for me, watching. Oh God. Which is weird because when you get to the New York scenes, so does Christopher Lambert, and it's like, why? You were straight up Scottish.
Oh, I mean, it's wild how the travel thing happens. It's kind of fun, but at least, Sean Connery sets the standard for why he would be in New York. Because when you're that old, you just travel. Just go to where the people are. And it's always easier to hide in plain sight. So hide where there are more people. But I think that part kind of makes sense, especially when you have to have electrical outages everywhere because it's the quickening and they can't blame it on Zeus or some other weird deity anymore. Now you have to be like, well, where could we have voltage issues? I know in the 80s, New York City. Let's see if a power plant explodes. Sure. Lightning in the sky. Probably a crackhead. No problem.
They weren't in a power plant. They were at the Silver Cup Studios where they shoot TV shows. But no, I'm shaking my head. Not at what Casey's saying, because what Casey's saying is 100% right. But what I'm shaking my head at is thinking about, it's called Highlander. It's about a Scottish man who's immortal. And his mentor, you decidedly chose a big star in Sean Connery and then convoluted his backstory. Why couldn't you say, hey, I'm here because I'm actually Scottish, but I lived in Egypt for hundreds of years, and then I moved to Japan for hundreds of years, Spain for hundreds of years. So I keep my accent, but I look, I've picked up things from all different. It's simple. Exposition could have cured this and just make him from Scotland, not an Egyptian who moved to Japan, who moved to Spain, who moved to.
Or if you do that as an Egyptian who moved to Spain, who moved to Japan, who moved to Scotland, he says in one line could go, I grab the dialect wherever I go to make sure I keep up with the times. You're done. That answers everything.
It doesn't answer why Christopher Lambert doesn't have a Scottish accent.
I don't want to hear it because Christopher Lambert has no accent and every accent at once. He's like an enigma of accents. The way he staccatos his voice, I'm pretty sure there's an accent hiding in there.
Well, he's a French actor. He was a French actor when he started, and one of his first movies was Tarzan. I remember that, and I remember it was a lot of broken English in it because he wasn't so used to speaking English.
Now, is that from like, is he Canadian and that's why he's got it, or was he French?
I
Or,
think
like,
he was
Belgian?
French, if I
Oh,
remember
okay. Oh,
correctly.
wow.
I think he was born in France. Oh wait, I have it actually up. It says he was born in Great Neck, Long Island.
Fuck that guy.
What happened?
What in the world?
Happened? What the fuck? My brain just exploded. It exploded harder than just thinking about why they didn't make him from Scotland in the first place.
So he is, in fact, Christopher Lambert. And we could just take all that horse shit away.
Oh my God. But here's the thing. It says he's a French-American actor. It says he was born in Great Neck, Long Island. They left the U.S. when he was only 2 years old. Okay, fine. I get that.
Okay.
With speaking another language. His father was a United Nations diplomat assigned to Switzerland.
It's making less sense.
You're
going backwards.
And as a result, Chris was educated at a private boarding school in Geneva.
Oh, my Lord. Okay. So that's why he can't talk good and stuff.
Well, hold on. It says, inspired through his having appeared in a play at age 12, he went to the Paris Conservatoire, where he remained for 2 years after a few small parts in French films. Beginning in 1980, he successfully competed in the title role of Warner Brothers' Greystone in the Tarzan movie. All right, here's where all my problems with this come in.
Really? Wait, you're gonna have problems now? There weren't issues before. Okay,
let's see
with
that
goes.
accent?
What do you got?
It's not Swiss. It's not Genevan. It's not. I don't even know if Genevan's right. I'm just going.
No, Geneva's Switzerland. Yeah.
No, I said Genevan.
Oh, Genevan?
From maybe. I don't know.
Let's make it cool. Let's make it Ganavana. Ganvanian.
I am so mad. And he spent like 2 years in France, is what you're telling me. He spent 2 years in France, and he's listed as a French-American actor. You were a straight-up American actor with a terrible accent. Plus, your father's a diplomat for the U.S., so your father didn't have a regular New York accent?
Yeah, or wherever he was from. New York might have been a post. He may be from North Dakota for all we know.
Fair, true. Yeah, but it's so weird. Oh my God. But like, he is a stone actor. Like, I like him in that movie, but like, even when he laughs in that movie, it's just like it's so creepy.
The awkward one, I'm sorry. Okay, so look, I'm saying all of this in the midst of I love this movie and I will defend it till I die.
Yeah.
There's two things that are absolutely unacceptable in this movie. Number one, they show the McLeod sword. There's a clan sword, and he never uses it. Number two, there is, in fact, every time he laughs when he's in love, it looks like a serial killer. He legitimately looks like someone who's going to murder you because the way he laughs with his eyes too far open and his eyes never change. So he's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. But he looks terrifying here. You know what I'm saying? If you cut half of his face off, his eyes look screaming at you, smiling and happy, terrifying eyes. Like
he looks like a Martian that's in disguise, trying to learn our ways.
Trying to figure out how to love. Like, how do I show love?
And you know what bothers me about finding out his background is it makes him playing Raiden even worse.
Oh, 1,000% worse. Like, there's no more acceptable. It was okay. Now it's gone. It's out the window. It's like, oh yes, another white savior. Congratulations.
Yeah. Whitewashing Raiden with Christopher Lambert is bad enough, but at least like I could be like, well, I mean, he's foreign, so I guess. Like, I mean, like that's the most I could come up with. Like, he's foreign, I guess.
Well, yeah, he's foreign, which is what I love too, because it's like, well, let's forget history, because foreign, French, i.e., Vietnam, there was a lot of positive history there. So probably
I don't know that. That's
still not great going in that direction.
I'm not opening up a book on Vietnam history, all right, buddy?
You're asking a lot, all right. No, but I mean, it's still a terrible idea, especially when you have a world with Donnie Yen, Jackie Chan, all these other people, Jet Li, all of them were around. Any one of them could have been snagged. Any one of them.
Well, is it Chinese or Japanese that fit? I mean, I know the fighters come from all around the world, but Raiden, where would he fall into?
That's a really good question. No, there is a Thunder God Raiden, and I'm not 100% exactly where, but you know who is? The internet.
Well, I would think China, and honestly, I'm saying that because of Big Trouble in Little China had the Raiden-like character.
They have the storms. You're right. Yep.
So I'm thinking they were, and honestly, I mean, I don't know a ton about Chinese or Japanese lores. I do enjoy reading up on them, but and so I don't want to speak like I know it's all, but like it just feels like that would be a lore that comes from China, if that makes sense.
Yeah, apparently he's Japanese, but the storms and all that, you got to remember that whole area after all the trade and everything they did for so many years, they traded a lot of their gods. Like, I mean, it sounds weird to say that, but everybody kind of traded gods. So you found a new deity and you're like, oh, okay, well, they go after this one. That sounds about right.
Rome and Greece,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they reached out with all of their gods. You have the Norse, who absolutely their legends have spread because they traveled with their gods. Yeah. So, there was a lot of Chinese-Japanese trade for a while before all the murder, and they, were pretty cool. So, it would make sense that would shift back and forth.
I don't want to hurt too many of our Christian friends' feelings with this, but
fire away.
Why couldn't one of those religions find its way? Like, I listen, I'm down with Jesus. I like Jesus. He's awesome. I love his teachings. Cool dude.
Jesus had a really good army.
No.
Jesus had a couple of good armies.
Unfortunately for Jesus, I don't know that he wanted an army.
Oh, he may not have wanted them, but he got them.
He got
some really great armies who were pretty brutal.
I know. I was looking at Twitter today after the arraignment. And I'm like, you're all Christians, you know that, right? You're being really mean.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. It's all, is what it is.
That's why, hey, listen, I don't even say WWJD anymore. I say WWTLD. What would Ted Lasso do?
That's a really good question because Ted Lasso would probably choose Umbridge, the high road.
He would. And I think that comes from Jesus. But listen, Jesus,
does.
We're going to speak to you for a second here on the podcast. Jesus, we think you're awesome. You got a lot of good qualities about you. Great teachings. You're up there chilling with your dad. Cool thing. But here's the deal. Yeah, you got some bad publicity going on. All your representatives down here on Earth are making you look really bad. So what I like to say is, no rapture. I like it here. Not to say that I'd be going up, but I do like it here. Actually, a few less people might be cool. But anyway, I digress.
Don't worry, that's happening. Nature.
Fair, very fair. I just don't want to be one of them.
No, not you. Just less humans. We're just birthing less.
Yeah,
our world average is actually dropping.
I'm not exactly high on on that old evolutionary chain, sir.
Oh, don't worry, brother. You got to go. You know what you should do? What if we just put you in a vat of water all the time? And you just start swimming all the time, bro. We turn you into the dolphin from Sequest.
Dude, actually, wow.
Come on.
Wow.
It would be amazing.
You should just went with Shamu, you dick.
No, because that's mean. And I love you.
Yeah.
And that's not who you are. That's not who you are. You weigh the same as that dolphin. Don't you
That's
give me
not
grief.
Okay. Dolphins weigh like 2 tons.
Well, you're not that heavy. See, you're like a baby dolphin.
No, we did the walrus thing. This is even worse. Because even dolphins are like rapey, and that's bad.
They are. Yeah. They're the only other animal that hurts, abuses, and chastises and damages other creatures for fun.
And you know who the first one is? Jesus' followers.
Ew.
No,
the old humans. Yeah, no, just all of us. No, there are. I mean, that's true. Every single one of them. Every single follower of religion. In fact.
Can I ask you a question? Do you consider yourself somebody who really, truly loves life, and respects life and believes in, you know, putting, you know, helping people, putting people first, life, you know, live your life. Don't.
So it's interesting you say that because I very much so, wholeheartedly, in every aspect and fiber of my being, believe that everyone else should be able to go live and be in their own life and love and however they choose. 100%.
Mhm.
I, for myself, do not respect the life I've been given because I smoke. And that alone is
Mhm.
proof that I don't. So I can own my own shit.
But you can have no, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it more like, you know, like the sanctity of life.
Yeah. Oh, well, absolutely. I think there's a line when people try to protect innocence, it becomes I've heard that line too many times for negativity. So I don't believe that one anymore, but I believe the sanctity of life in the degree of everyone should be allowed to make their own decisions. I believe in chaotic freedom. If you're not hurting anyone else, go live your life and do whatever you want to do.
Honestly, I would like to say that I agree with you, and I do. I feel like I do feel that way. But then you ever meet like that person that random day, and it's like Thanos should have they should have never touched Thanos.
Oh, well,
Like you just want to stop the Avengers and Endgame.
There are times I wish I were like a harbinger of doom or I was a bringer of death or something. That'd be pretty dope. Like there are definitely times where I'm like, why not now? Why is now not the time when I get the message that like, yes, go Boondock Saints on these bitches. But
see, I don't want to kill anybody, but like I definitely.
Oh yeah, no, of course not.
I don't want that on my hands right now. But
I don't really care.
I mean, I'll help you out. I'll help you out the body. Buddy.
Here's the thing with having been in the military, I'm pretty sure there's already blood on my hands.
Jesus Christ, Casey. He wouldn't have said that if there wasn't.
There's a reality.
No, I am kidding, of course. But I'm going to tell you this. There's some people you meet and you're like, you know, the world would be a better place without you. And you know who those people are?
Who?
You know what I'm going to say?
I don't know, but I'm excited for whatever it's about to be. Let's get it up.
No, I'm just kidding with you. I just wanted to go there. I wanted to tee it up and see where you went with it.
Boy, I was scared because there are so many options, but I like when you say things because I never know what it's going to be.
No. I don't wish for anybody's death or anything like that. I just walk away from it. I didn't, if you annoy me or you do something, but
I'm living my whole life. I have this whole life I have to live. I'm not going to let you eat my bandwidth. I'm not going to let you get in my way. I'm not let you going to be the problem that you want to hope you can be. So that way you get a rise out of me and it makes you feel good and you can have your jollies off for the next week. It's not worth it to me. I got a lot better things and a lot more things going on. I don't have the time for that business.
Yeah, I agree. And it is a great way to think, especially with so much in your face, especially with social media and stuff like that. Now, this isn't the old men anti-social media or anti, people or religion or anything like that.
I go back and forth on social media. I immediately go, it's a terrible idea. It's great. I get to meet everybody and see everybody and archive my life and have a history of who I was and who I am to this day. And then also I don't want to talk to anybody. And then, but that's all personal, man. That's just congratulations. The human condition is we think too damn much. We're monkeys that take too much time considering things rather than just going out and eating.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even eat tonight. You just reminded me.
Oh, bro. I thought that was my shtick. Oh, no, same. I literally got home about an hour ago. I was like, it'd be great if I could eat something. And then I started doing show prep.
That's our lives, man. That's how it goes.
That's how we roll.
I've been working on Skyline stuff all day, and then it just kind of threw me off. Oh, which goes
the whole time.
Goes to tell me, thank you everybody who submitted to Skyline, and thank God I don't have to watch a movie that's over 2 hours long. Finally, dude, I am so tired. I go to the movies at least once a week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thursdays and Fridays are pretty much your days. Yeah.
But the problem with that is I go to the movies at least once a week. Tomorrow I'm going twice.
Oof.
I'm going in the morning for Super Mario Brothers, and then I'm going in the evening for Air.
Oh, God, I can't wait to see Air. I'm so excited for that
dude.
one. Really
and we will have reviews up, of course. Make sure to go and subscribe over on YouTube and give a like to these videos. Or if you're listening later, maybe go subscribe anyway, because we have other great shows.
But we really appreciate it.
Definitely.
It means a lot. It makes our hearts swell. Every
Rate
time
and
I
review.
flip on a number and I see someone else who's joined us, it means we're bringing that much joy to someone else. So I appreciate it. Thank you for listening.
And make sure to like, rate, and review.
And picture me naked. Who knows what could happen? It could go anywhere. There could be a Quato. You have no idea.
Listen, I'm not saying that you being naked is a bad thing. I'm just saying we can't have that many people scratching out their eyes, Casey.
No, that's valid. Yeah. You know what? I mean, it's like 7th level of hell. It's a Dante thing. You'll figure it out.
No, you don't lead them down the wrong path. We all know what it is. It's like the Ark of the Covenant. He pulls down the pants, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh, I can't deal with this.
It's too much. It's face melting. It's rocking my face with the amount of awesome dong I'm experiencing." Yeah, that's actually why my sex life is so dormant. Is because of all the murder. But don't worry, you can't find any remnants. It melts them.
My God, you should be hooking up with She-Hulk.
That's so terrible. But I'm okay with that. Tatiana Maslany, hit me up. What's up?
No,
Go
the
grab
actual
some
green
fop.
one.
Oh, the green one. She'd hurt me, which could also be fun. Hit me up.
Could be fun. Hit him up. All right, let's get into it a little bit. So I want to go back to this 2-hour thing. I don't know what it is about movies today coming out, but they all decided at some point to say, "Hey, hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, nah. We're going 2:30 strong at least. We want you here in the seats." It's like 2020 took so many people out of theaters for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, it was really only about 7 or 8 months where they couldn't open. Now that's a big deal, and that sucked for them, and we were supporting all the way. What I'm saying to you was we're in 2023. So if it opened back up in 2020 for the theaters, right, with a lot of stipulations,
right,
we're in 2023 now. First quarter's over. Here's my problem. Why are you trying to keep me there for so long? Why is this happening where if I show up, like, you don't understand how goddamn happy I was when I went to see Thor Love and Thunder, and I'm like, oh, and 2 hours and 1 minute? Perfect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even Creed 3 was an hour and 56. I was like, oh, thank God. I thought it was going to be longer than that. I was like, oh, good.
Yeah, there was some relief with that one, too, because
because Creed 2 was almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. The director's cut. That puppy is long.
It's so long.
And it's not bad. I don't want you to think I'm talking smack about it. It was a great movie. But I'm with you, man. I'm going to mention this, too. I watched an indie horror movie called Slacks recently.
Mm-hmm.
Hour and 16 minutes. The runtime was an hour and 16 minutes. My favorite runtimes are an hour 37 and under. Those it's 97 minutes long, man. That's where you're going to get my full unadulterated attention. If you have to stretch longer than that, you either have that incredible of a story, that much great character development, or some bitchin' scene that I want to watch where we got cars are tearing around the streets for 30 minutes, or there's an action battle sequence that I'm excited about. But in the end, you got to give me my story. You got to wrap it up in a reasonable amount of time. And I don't want to sit there for 2.5 hours. If I want to do that, I want to do that at home. So theater releases being that long are just stupid. Where's my intermission? Where's my chance to pee? I'm an old man, and I need to make sure that I keep my bladder safe. All right. I have concerns now at this age. So the idea of having to sit and hold my pee is not cool.
Man, you really did go old with that one.
Yeah. Well, it's important.
I can kidney stones and all. I can definitely still hold it. The amount. You're right, though. I did not. And I know it sounds like we're complaining too much, but like Avatar was almost 4 hours long. First off, I understand movie fans, and I've seen them all. So good luck trying to argue with me on this. We're tournament champion winners. Hello.
I mean, I wouldn't
rewatch the best there ever will be.
Holler, Brett. Does that make me your Jim the Anvil Neinhardt? Because yes.
Actually, it makes you Owen after the fall.
Oh, cool.
That's how you do it.
That was terrible. All right. So now that we've completely ruined any chance of ever getting anyone from the Hart family,
I'm okay with that.
I'll live with it. And I completely lost my thought. You nailed it. You took it out of my face.
I only did it there's a reason I did it, though. I just want to thank.
Have
your
something
thoughts.
funnier to follow up with?
I have nothing funnier to follow up
Nothing.
with. No, I am looking forward to like a Super Mario Brothers tomorrow where it's an hour and 32 minutes.
Yeah.
But it feels like week after week after week. And when I was saying about Avatar being almost 4 hours long, and then there was talk about a 9-hour cut of Avatar 3 or whatever. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, what do you, and I have a big, especially, and I know you have a good point on this, and I'm not trying to take it away from you, but I just want to drive home my point real quick, and that is, you should be able to effectively tell a 3-act structure story in anywhere between an hour and a half and an hour and 2 hours. And I understand the 2 hours. Now, the epics and things like that should be saved for the 2:30. I'm sorry, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, as much as I love it, isn't a 2 hour and 30-minute movie. It's an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, pushing it that far. To tell me that I have to sit in this theater and watch this, and honestly, a lot of these movies that are doing it are like, it's all right. It's like very torn between people, and I have to think it's a feeling because it's not being edited properly.
I think a part of that, I'll agree with that. So my first point was that I was one of the people who said and went through Lawrence of Arabia on the big screen, Gone with the Wind on the big screen. I've sat through some classics because I wanted to, because it was great. And they all have intermissions. Like, it's very important that we seem to have lost the art of intermission. Like, people just forgot that we need to walk every once in a while. So, look, I love going to a theater for the experience. And I love being able to invest 4 hours to go watch a movie. Absolutely. I am down. I have no issue with that. The artist is going to give me the full breadth of what they want to show me. I am in. I have always been in, and I am down. It means I also have the decision to go, your 4-hour movie is not what I'm willing to sit through. So I'm going to wait till it comes out. Like, that's where I can pause it and get up and move and make dinner, or like, live life, maybe some dishes, some laundry in between. Like, that's why I love those epics. I don't want to go to movie theaters for epics. And that's only me now at this age with other stuff going on in my life, with the busyness factor that we're at. When it would be great to go sit and watch a 4-hour movie, Mick? It'd be awesome for us to be 60 years old, wandering over after retirement and just hanging out and watching a ridiculous movie. Yeah. That is when 4-hour movies are worthwhile. When I get the chance to take my daughter to a movie that's going to really move her, it's going to like show her a spectacle, that's going to introduce her to something fantastic that she should be introduced to, a wonderful, good story, like a 4-hour ET. Okay, you could have done it. I would have made it happen. But guess what? ET is an hour and 42 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
E.T., one of the greatest movies of all time. And that's not me talking, that's other people. An hour and 42.
But back then, that was the event. See, like, so you get an hour and 42 minutes there, but you wouldn't see that again for maybe another year or two, with another huge, like, where it's almost like 3 hours long. Mm-hmm. And generally dramas were big, sweeping, epic dramas, I should say. So, and when the miniseries came in, a lot of the David Lean type directors, the Dr. Zhivago's, well, he didn't direct Dr. Zhivago, but the Dr. Zhivago's, but the David Lean, like you said, Lawrence of Arabia, stuff like that, they kind of went by the wayside because now you have this TV format where you can, in 3 or 4 nights, or even 2 for that matter, tell a full story that feels on an epic scale, and you get a lot of stars in it and things like that. Now, granted, I know that doesn't exist much anymore. And I'm not taking anything away from Avatar: Way of the Water.
No, I hear you. It's sitting and it's sitting there. It's committing to that level of time for a story that doesn't seem that deep at this point. No, like, I'm with you. No, I feel you, buddy. 100%.
Well, what I was going to say was I haven't seen it yet, so I can't. And it's because I have not had 4 hours to kill. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't. But I had that same argument with, like, I get like the Infinity War and Endgame where it's huge epic things, and Infinity War was 2 hours and 32 minutes, and Endgame was about 3 hours. Actually, I think it was over 3 hours, just by a little bit though, in a couple minutes. And clearly Infinity War is the better movie,
Well, yeah.
hands
Yeah.
down.
Well, it's got the episode 5, the Empire Strikes Back feel to it. That's why it's the better movie, is because you get that ending of bleakness after everyone giving their everything. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
And now I say this knowing everybody that other Marvel movies were clocked in at over 2 hours during that phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But for the most part, all the individuals pretty much went on under 2 hours, maybe just at 2 hours, but primarily, just under. And it works. And that's the way it should be. You should have these smaller movies that aren't feeling like they're sweeping epics. So when you get to the Infinity War, it's massive.
Mm-hmm.
And now every Marvel movie feels like they're trying to be epic.
Yes.
And it's just too much.
Agreed. There are some movies that it doesn't work. And we've also, here's the other problem now, is we've seen the miniseries shows work. We've seen the WandaVisions be incredible. We've seen the Captain America Winter Soldier progress storylines in this fantastic way while also closing storylines, giving us closure in a beautiful way. Yeah. We've seen all Loki open up a whole new villain, like as a focus. It was beautiful. So when we're getting all of these stories, I think it's important to be able to remember that streaming just took over for the miniseries ideal. Your Thornwoods, your Blue and the Gray, or North and South. Thank you, Jonathan Frakes, which check out the interview. It was awesome. Amazing guy. I really a hoot listening to him, but he had the same thought that storytelling is gone. I feel that storytelling has moved into the Stranger Things. That has moved into more of the streaming services that we get used to, that getting those stories. Now, it's unfortunate that there's no cap with a lot of these streaming shows, because there's either hope they're going to continue on or they suddenly get canceled.
Yeah. So
there's issue there, because you don't get the miniseries tail. You don't get someone giving you a condensed, concise story and saying, we're done. We're done here. And one of the things I like about BBC, one of the things I like about certain programs that end it, that decide to end it, go, no, we've told our story. The Expanse, wonderful for this. They're like, we've told this group's stories. There may be other stories, but this story is done. I think Star Wars suffered by not having an end, a cap. I think it should have lived within its cap and said, those were those characters. Now they have influence elsewhere, but those were those characters. That was their journey. Now here's a new journey.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of beauty in the storytelling there, and that's why I enjoy long form movies and long form storytelling, because I want character development. But if you don't have decent characters, the story drags, and it becomes long and boring and dullard, and anything over an hour and a half is now stupid. So, it's really important to make sure you have all those elements. So when you're pumping out something that's 3 hours long, you better have all those elements. And especially if I'm investing $20 in 3 to 4 hours of my life, make it worthwhile. And I think it also, unfortunately, opens the door for a lot more criticism. The moment you breach 2 hours, a lot more people are going to be pissed, and they're going to have a bone to pick about every little thing, because if you haven't paid it off, if there's no payoff, if they don't feel that experience leaving the theater, you wasted their time.
Well, do you think that a big reason for that, because also after the miniseries kind of went away, and it fairly did. I mean, of course, they're still doing like TV miniseries in the early 2000s and even in the 10s, but it wasn't the same, because we did, once streaming hit, it was a lot different. And especially once DVDs hit, like it became a lot different too. But I always appreciate a good director's cut. And to go that route, like I feel like maybe they're doing this in theaters now and not cutting certain things out, because it's, there's this weird feel of like, I'm trying to put it the right way, but like,
no, I feel you, because you're putting it perfectly. So there's this feeling that there's another story, and the studio doesn't want to screw up the story. So they're afraid, a la David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Let's say there's another cut. The Suicide Squad that was released sucked. So it's very much so like Kingdom of Heaven is a great example.
Great example of that.
Of where they cut it down to be under 2 hours to be palatable to people, right? and it sucked. It was awful. The theatrical cut is one of the worst movies I've ever sat through in my life, and I freaking hate it.
Yeah.
The director's cut adds 45 minutes, and it is phenomenal. And then you get the super cut, which I thought adding another 20 minutes was dumb. I was like, where do? You have perfection, and it got better.
It did.
So
I mean,
there
listen.
is something to the super long format, letting a director, a producer, the editor, the writer, let them all tell the story. The problem is when you have that many pieces trying to tell a story, you're not always going to get the perfect product. We've seen it time and time again.
Yeah.
But when you have that much investment going in with that many hours, you got to make it worth it. And if you're not making it worth it, it sucks.
Do you think it comes down to so do you think it comes down to the director's cut when the movie's bad and it's generally getting cut? And I'm talking about in the Kingdom of Heaven, Blade Runner. Although I do like the theatrical cut of Blade Runner, but director's cut's 1,000 times better. But
yeah, fair.
So many, and I'm going to actually fasten this to just the director cut movies. Not everyone, but the ones that really shine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that maybe it's because in theaters, what we're getting, and I know you had touched down on this, but like there's so much involvement by the studios to cut it down that they took it out of the hands of the director and told him what to cut, or like, and you can speculate here too as well. And that's why the director's cut is so much better, because that's the true vision. Or is it that the theatrical version, of course, and I'm, when I say I don't like, and I realize there's a lot of points here, but when I say I don't like movies being 2 hours over, it's because it should be it should be a way of the water when I'm going to see it. That's what should be 3, but I'm not, and I know I was on that very short list of people who didn't see it, and I will, although the first movie didn't blow me away at all, but
it was beautiful, but that's it.
Yeah.
Dancing with Wolves, but prettier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for this one, I had just in like 3 or 4 weeks in a row sat in a movie theater every week, watching movies that are over 2 hours. But by the time that came out, I was like, I can't go and do 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it in me. But to go back to the director cut side of it, do you think that maybe there is something to not putting out the director's cut? Do you think there's some positives to it that actually never really?
Never. I am going to put on my beret, and I am going to stand on the side of the artist, for I believe that their full vision should be allowed to be seen, to be shown, and to be experienced, and that anyone else who is putting their grubby little hands in because the average runtime is, the most popular idea of scenes are, these are the best actors, actresses to plug into this film, even though they are hot, but they are not good. Like, I think 100%, you must allow the actor, the director, the visionary to show their vision. I would not be happy without a director's cut of Blade Runner in my life. I just wouldn't be. There's no chance. I think there's a lot of movies that we need that. We need to see that. There's a battle that happens between the artist and those who are making money on it in everything. In every song, in every thing we hear, there's someone trying to make money off of it by tweaking it, to change it, to alter it. And it's my struggle with vision of artists, because I'm too much of an artist to not always side with artists. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just always see this as, we could have the best product possible. Why would you chop it up to put a version in the theater? And now you're telling me that I'm never going to like Kingdom of Heaven, even though Kingdom of Heaven is one of my all-time favorite go-to movies now, only because the director cuts exist. If that theatrical cut was all I ever saw, I would insult it until the day I die.
All right, but I got to devil's advocate this a little bit, because
please, let's go.
It's not the artist and the ones who are making money. It's the artist and the ones trying to make their money back. They're fronting the money for this. Now, I'm not talking about indie films. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the studio system.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And they're the ones fronting the bill. So now if they say they get a script, they have the script written, and they find a director and they're like, you're a great director, we want you to do this. We need it to be this, to push it at this time or whatever, whether it be an award season or a blockbuster sort of movie, something like that.
Summertime hit.
Summertime hit, a fall, type of movie. There every month has a reason why the movie comes out. And every tone is different for everything. So a lot of people don't understand that in the science that goes into all of this. My point with this is, if I'm paying you as the artist and I say, hey, listen, I need a 2-minute video done, and here's the script for it. Just, can you get this done? You can do it in your own vision, make it look however you want, but I need it because I need to be able to play it on whatever, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And I'm using a smaller scale, of course, but
sure.
And you return with a 20-minute video and you're like, this is perfect as is. You got to put it up like this. And I'm like, I can't put it up like this. I need a 2-minute video to make my money back.
Why are you talking about 3 weeks ago? I feel like this has happened between us.
No, but I do bring it up, especially for the people listening and watching. It's such a, it's a fine line. Like, yes, the Ridley Scotts of the world are great and they make it look great, and they take their scripts and they run with it, and you get a Kingdom of Heaven director's cut, which was his ultimate vision.
Yeah.
Or a Blade Runner director's cut, which is ultimate vision. But I also get, like, if we say, hey, hand me an hour and a half, 2-hour movie that I can market this as, like, we bought the Blade Runner, or was it do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? We bought the rights to this story. We want it made. We really feel like with the sci-fi boom right now of Dune and Star Wars and everything else, Star Trek, this could be really good. Can we go one episode without I'm kidding, of course. We're going to mention it later anyway. But you get this feeling of, for me, as a producer, from the producer standpoint, it's like, I got a budget to stay in.
Sure.
And yeah, we're letting you film, but like, this needs to make money back. And let's face facts. We don't know if at the time of release, the director's cut would have done better.
Of course. Oh, you have no idea. You don't know that. No. And I respect that. I understand that stance. I hear that standpoint and I get it. That's why I also don't like movie making as it stands in the business it's become. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stand for the artist. I stand for the person who's going to screw the people and their money. I'm sorry. I don't care about the studios and their money. The only thing I like about the studios and their money is the fact that sometimes they produce something fantastic. Sometimes.
Not sometimes. They do more often than not. A lot of stuff that is produced. I bet you if you go out and you look at the list of movies that came out last year that were fully backed by studios, you would probably have enjoyed more than disliked.
That's fair. And I will allow for that. At the same token, it is a business. And at the end of the day, business is money, baby. And if you ain't making the money, then you ain't worth it. And the problem is, a lot of people with fantastic visions who just can't keep up with the money, or get one miss, get lost and get buried, who have way more to give, who could smoke Ridley Scott, who could make Ridley Scott look like a child in an hour and 27 minutes. You know what I mean? That's a viable thing that exists. And unfortunately, our system doesn't allow for that. So it's the mix of communism, capitalism, and then whatever the populism, so it's a wild thing.
I am not against the studios. Like, now listen, I'm talking about just the movie.
No, of course. I don't mean like all the terrible things the studios have done through history. We're not getting there. That's too long. We got 10 minutes.
This from the side of, like, yes, it is a business, and now that is the high end of the business. That's what most filmmakers, if not all, are working towards. And once you get in there, you either play the game or you get out.
Of course.
Trust me, I know. So you either play the game.
To a man who literally had the choice of shitting or getting off the pot. I mean, you were there.
No, shitting or get off the pot is not the right terminology for that. That
fair.
Is either you're going to get started or you're not. And I did get started.
That's
and I
true.
realized,
no, you were already doing the thing. Yeah.
There's some things that are nightmares here. There's the beauty and the pomps and circumstance, but there's some nightmare shit here. And I don't want to go into all that, but like with the studio side of things and kind of how it plays, it is an art form, making movies. I 100% agree. But where does it come into play that you're like, all right, well, if I'm making it, if I'm an artist and I'm going to make it, and I get into the studios and I start directing for the studios, I think you lose sort of that edge of saying, I better be able to make it my way. I'm an artist.
I'm going to say this because logically, you now have to also worry about the people behind you. You have a cast and a crew that you are responsible for.
Unions.
So exactly. You have a lot of people to answer to. So you're never going to get your art in its purest form. It's
But
just pure and simple. You're not.
Your art should never be in your purest form, because art is not for you. Your art is not for you.
I think Basquiat might have a consideration there. Maybe Picasso might say something different there, but these are innovators, and I'm bringing up innovators who changed art.
No, wait. Let me get my point.
Sure,
across.
sorry.
I get what you're saying, but then you can go work somewhere else. Like because then this art you're selling to people. That's what we do. We have a Patreon, things like that, and like. I can't come in here and immediately just be like everything. Well, I mean, right now, because we're more independent, I can. But like if I'm working for like Sirius XM or I'm working for something like that, I can't just walk in and be like, I can say whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want. I can talk about whatever I want, however I want, and you can't stop me. Yes, you can, because you've entered into that.
That's a contract. You've entered a contract.
Your life. So like when I hear a lot of filmmakers get in and they're like, well, I hate the studio system for this, that, and the other thing. That's fine, but live with where you're at. And if you want that pure art form, you have to be willing to accept how the audience takes it.
Bingo.
Just like the studios do. But the studios are putting money in and saying, okay, but we have focus groups and we do this and we try to put a little more science behind it because we want to make money, because we don't want to lose money.
Yeah.
If you're creating something like we're doing this, that, and the other thing, and we're not making something that's enjoyable for the masses, that's it. Or we're only making something enjoyable for a small amount of people, then that's your realm, and that's what you make now.
And I agree with that 100%. I believe that so heartily that is absolutely the way it should be. But that's also proper selective criticism, which unfortunately things due to marketing and social media do influence us. So it's difficult to always have that perfect purview when you have all of the things stacked against you. But I agree. If you sign a contract to do a job, your responsibility is to honor that, because that's your word. That's what you're supposed to do. So it is that dance between the artist and, what you are going to be able to put on screen. And not to mention the people who complain about being in the studio system. I always laugh at, like, you're literally living the dream of like 30% of humans on the earth. So calm down. Let's everybody just pump the brakes.
And the whole artist
think about what you're doing. Yeah.
The artist talk bugs me, because I have a lot of respect for artists and what they do, but I do not have a lot of respect for pretentiousness and thinking that, again, your art is for you. You made it and it belongs to you solely. Now, like the Taylor Swifts, like, here's the thing.
Prince.
Yeah, you did make it. You did make it with your, and here's where I'm going to get lambasted by a lot of people, and I don't care because I'm going to say it, but
do it.
You did make it. And like the Beatles, especially, is the biggest, one of the biggest things with that. And they always argue, like, well, that's our music. We made it. You did. But when you made it, you sold it. You said, I'll make this for you and I'll accept this money now, whatever this is, because I don't know if I'm going to be big or not. And then you got big and you're like, but I want the rights so I can make money off of my songs. They're not your songs. You were fine with that before, but you're not fine with it now. And that's not anyone's problem but your own, because once you made it and made it for others, it became everybody else's, especially who you signed it over to or made it for.
Yes.
And I've heard the famous interview with Prince talking about, like, I made my music in my studio, I paid for it to be made. That's fine, but you signed the contract to have that record label distribute it. And that's where it gets me. Now,
I agree. Yes, there's a system to it.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm understanding that there are levels to it. I'm with you. I defend the artist because I always defend the artist. It doesn't mean I always agree with the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand where they're coming from in its beauty. Art in its purest form is what every human being should experience, should do in some way, should go stare at in some function. Art is it's what makes us humans.
Yeah.
It's what allows our higher functions to be so fantastic. At the same token, it's not worth it to be a jerk over, and it is meant for other people generally to enjoy. Now, there are times when, oh, gee, my book of poems, all of a sudden when I set it to music, gets really popular. Okay, great. Something you did for yourself, you were able to translate to other people.
Mm-hmm.
At the same token, you gave it to other people. You've given that over.
Yeah.
You've allowed that to leave yourself to be for someone else now. And I think that's something that's lost in art. Something that I think Slasher 15 does a great job of.
Well, even then, but like, I mean, they crowd fund for themselves.
Oh, yeah,
but
of
if
course.
you ever wanted to move up, you're going to have to follow some direction. You're going to have to put some actors in your movie that are hot right now that this studio wants to sell on and bank on. It is a game too. Like, I mean, it's a bit, you say it's a business, and I 100% agree, but there's almost a game to it because you're trying to get the system. Now, I think, thinking about it, the artist that I think probably has the most control, because from beginning to end, it's them. They're selling themselves as stand-up comedians.
Oh, yes. What a good one. Strong.
And
yes.
they go out there and they do their thing. They come up with their they write, they put it out, and they wait. They become good enough. They work and work and work their ass off for like little amounts of money in clubs every night, if any, to get to a point where maybe somebody says, we want you to do a special, we'll pay you to do a special. And you're still doing the special, but they have, it's like, you're coming to us.
Right.
Now studios don't do that anymore because they learned that lesson from Orson Welles with Citizen Kane.
Yeah, that was a big mistake.
You don't get that. You're not getting this final cut, that for sure. But that's where I think artists, and I think it becomes, and again, I know it's a hard thing, but I also understand selling art, my own art. You've done the same. Like, we are, and we work to a base. Not everybody's going to buy into us, but the ones who do, we try.
Awesome. And we love and appreciate.
We do love and appreciate you, but it's genuine. Like, they like our genuineness. Like, but if we change things up, like if we got hired on Sirius and they're like, hey, why don't you guys talk about pillows and Mike Lindell for an hour?
Okay.
All right. I don't know about that. Here's some money. Okay. And then you have our voices talking about Mike Lindell and pillows for an hour every day. And I hate even talking about it right now, but
no, it's great. There's a different combination in my mind every time you say it. So it's cool.
I just hope a giant stack of pillows falls on top of him and he's not really stuck, but thinks he's stuck.
Oh, and then like freaks himself out and then winds up just falling asleep and sleeps for like 8 years. That'd be cool.
And then eventually, I was thinking maybe Satan would just be like, let's gobble him up. And then, oh God, Satan's like, we need some pillows. And they open up the ground and he falls in.
Well, that'd be great because you have, Rip Van Winkle, basically Old Scratch rolls up to Rip Van Winkle. It's like, oh, hey, buddy.
You want to know when I read Rip Van? I can't believe I'm going to say this. I read Rip Van Winkle after I watched the Wishbone episode.
No.
Yes, I didn't read it before, and I never even heard of it.
What?
A lot of the books that he covered, I did read before.
Okay, yeah.
But it wasn't Rip Van Winkle because I watched that and I'm like, is this real? And then I found the book and I read it.
Oh man, growing up in elementary school, we sang the song. Like, there was like 3 different versions of the book. There's the kids book, then the intermediate learning to read book, and then there's the straight up like, here's the story. It's actually 80 pages. And it's like, who read this for fun? Who read the real Rip Van Winkle? It's terrible. It is awful. It's not, and it doesn't end well. It's not like everybody's happy he's awake.
Nothing ended well back then. Let's
nothing.
be real.
I mean, well, that's fair. There wasn't. Hope was a weird thing. It was the hope that killed you back in the day.
The hope that killed you.
And dust. And a small nick, like a weird cut that was at an odd angle while you were down like fishing. You'd be like, I should be fine, no problem there. And then you head back and you're dead 4 days later because of gangrene or whatever. Man, screw those days.
I I, for one, think that you couldn't have hope back then or make wishes because God forbid in like, was it Pilgrim times or whatever they were, the Quakers, they're sitting there. That's a thing. I know it. The Pennsylvania Quakers.
Nailed it.
They're sitting there and they're like, oh my God, we've had a healthy bounty of corn or whatever the hell they grew. And then they're like, and then they're this is not going well.
Oh, it's great. Keep going. You're not wrong at any point yet. So it's fantastic.
But they know that they live in like a log cabin and they're like, oh my God, it's going to be a treacherous winter. Oh God, please don't make it so treacherous. And then it's like bone dry and hot all winter. And then you can't grow any crops come in the spring or something like that. I don't know how farming works. That's probably how it is, but
something like that. Sure.
Wait, do people in warm places like just grow all year round?
Yeah. Yeah, because you can
that makes a lot more sense.
When it's super hot, you get more of your fruits. And then when it's less hot, you get more of your veggies.
No wonder you hate fruit. You grew up in Connecticut and it's always
I grew up in the cold, buddy. Give me my veggies all day. My fruit's evil.
I'm not trying to blow up your spot, but when you told me that for the first time, my mind almost exploded. I'd never heard nobody ever said anything to me like that.
Fruit's terrible.
Like
fruit's the most evil thing on earth. It's literally in the Bible that tells us not to eat fruit.
No.
Congratulations that I'm trying to cleanse myself of the original sin.
No, I'm not agreeing with that. What I'm saying is, when you told me, when I forget what it was. I think I was eating an apple or something. Like, hey man, you want something? You're like, and you went chinless, and you were like, and you did the noise that, and I'm like, what? And you're like, I hate fruit, and I'm like,
hate fruit.
My brain still is uneasy about that sentence. It was like 10 years ago, and I'm still uneasy.
Well, like I'm so particular now, where it's like grilled pineapple's cool.
Okay.
It's grilled. Frozen grapes are cool because there's anything that takes away the bursting effect is good.
Oh, you don't like the juices.
I cannot deal with it. Deal with it. Banana. Apparently, I was fed banana for the first 3 years of my life, and it was literally like all I ate. So apparently, I've just got this thing where I can't banana
or poop.
Oh no, I love pooping. I still make sure to get all the magnesium in the body, and everything else that I can. I do find those other nutrients in kale or leafy green vegetables.
Listen, I got nothing against. I like vegetables. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not throwing out the I hate vegetables. Like when a kid says I hate vegetables, I'm like, yeah, but you'll grow up.
Well, they're lying. They're just lying. They just don't understand that. Like it's just the problem is kids are like, well, this isn't Skittles, so you can go screw yourself.
Yeah, but like when you said I hate fruit, I've literally never heard anyone in any facet on any medium anywhere say that. They may say I don't like this fruit or I hate this fruit. Sure. You straight up were like across the board, I'm going to burn it down.
Dead.
You wanted to kill things with the name fruit in them. I'm pretty sure you were trying to hit a bat with a tennis racket one time, and you're like, is that a vampire bat or a fruit bat? Let it go if it's vampire.
Yeah, it's fine if it's vampire. I mean, I essentially did the same thing when I was like, are those Fruit Loops or Cheerios? There's a difference. So I got very angry at them.
Fair. Well, we kind of missed our second topic tonight, which is we're going to talk about like things we want to get in our collectibles. So I'll save that for next week or the week after.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a whole day in itself. I'm on a collectible kick right now. It always happens when I'm trying to save and do smart things that all of a sudden I'm like, look at all this amazing art, and I just want to buy all of it.
I am with you. I've been collecting. I'm right now. I'm all into Star Trek, and I think we know why. And but my thing is that with collecting, I get really into certain like things that I like. Like what am I going to go with? Like I love the Funko Pops, and I slowed down on them. I only get the ones that I really want or collections that I'm trying to put together.
Good.
But I slowed down on them because I was like, you know what, this is getting out of hand. I'm running out of place to put it.
You were doing every variant of every single model that you loved, and it was great. And look, I never, ever put down collecting and grabbing things you love because there was a connection there and it means something. Yeah. I also understand as an art lover that things just get out of hand. and I have literally this entire thing filled with art, and that's only one of two. And I don't have the frames, so not being able to display it, it starts to be like, why do I have this collection if I can't show it off?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And so like we didn't get in, and I do want to get into all that. I want to talk about the artwork.
Sure.
I want to talk about the other collectibles, so we'll get to that. But I do think that you have a movie for me to fix tonight.
My friend, it's funny that we live in this vein of conversation that we've been having all night about artists and artist vision. Now, artist visions can take us in many different directions. We can wind up seeing some different plane of existence, or be traveled to a different world, or even go to the depths of the sea. There are so many wonderful things that happen with artist visions, and they don't always necessarily fall in line with what the initial intent is.
Mhm.
So we've had the conversation about Sonic, and we remember Sonic the Hedgehog was a terrible animation until they asked someone to say, the fans spoke up and said, that's not my Sonic. Just give me Sonic. And they did.
Yeah.
And it was glorious. We have seen people say Firefly was canceled and go, I want one more show of Firefly.
Yeah.
And there was enough of a clamor that the studio went, fine, you get a movie. And that was wonderful. We got that. So as a young lad, there was a movie that always affected me that way and kind of made me question, where in the hell did they get it so wrong? And that movie, forever living with me, is the John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins vehicle, Super Mario Brothers. Falling in line with what we currently have with Super Mario Brothers coming up, Mick, I feel like there is a lot of room, and I mean a lot of room, to fix Super Mario Brothers. Do you have a fix for Super Mario Brothers?
Well, I mean, the short answer is throw it out.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. Yeah, I mean, forget Dennis Hopper. Just take everybody who was successful and just chuck them.
And 30 years later, make an animated one. So, but to quickly touch down on a point, I just realized that I do want to. When it comes to artists and selling things and stuff like that, too, you got to remember that. And this is mostly for people listening or watching. Yeah, that's true. But filmmaking is a collaborative effort.
Exactly.
There's a lot of artists together who are artistes when it comes to director of photography, or comes to writing or
design,
costuming, things like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you have a collaborative effort and they all are artists, that's why the producers come in and they're the captain of the ship saying, okay, this is what we got to do now. My director can step in and make his vision work with all these other artists' collaboration. Correct. And because you need that collaborative effort, you need to make money. And that's why I think sometimes you got to play the game.
I agree. Oh, no, I never disagree. You've got to play the game, period, dot.
No.
But I still stand by. There are studio issues.
Oh.
And there are problems.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
100%.
All right.
I devil's advocated for them on a small part.
Yeah, that's fair.
It shouldn't, if you're in the studio system, it shouldn't be only the artist's voice.
Yeah.
You got independent film for that, but you have to live by the independent money.
Agreed.
Because that's life. It's
that's
like
truth.
I work for a company and I make a lot more money than probably starting my own business, but I work for myself, and that's something I really enjoy doing. So you got to make that choice.
Agreed.
And live with it.
Now let's make Super Mario Brothers better.
Okay. And now all that does play into my point of this, because this is too much oversight.
This is the other side.
So of course we were coming out of, when this was made. If you guys remember, action figures really didn't exist in the form that we know them today. They existed in like the 12-inch form, things like that. Rare, very rare with the G.I. Joes and stuff like that. And the Migos, they just weren't the same. Now I'm talking about when Star Wars came out with their merchandise. Mm-hmm. And so every toy company said, we're going to do that. And how do we sell them? We're going to make a TV show about them, or a movie.
He-Man.
Yeah, I can fix that too if you want. But
never.
But when you got to video games, it was a demand to see more. So these movie studios were jumping on these properties and saying, okay, Super Mario Brothers, one of the biggest video games of all time, even in 1993, when the movie came out.
It was the OG. Absolutely.
It was huge. So they make this movie, but this is at a time where, and I appreciate the fact that we have come so far out of it, and video games have become so predominant in a lot of people's lives and the mainstay in so many things. Filmmakers that are coming up, the studio heads that are coming up, all these people were video game players now, more than likely.
Mm-hmm. And
even I'm not a gamer, and I want to see the games when they're made into movies shown respect.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to the original Super Mario Brothers movie, this was a cash grab. They got writers. They probably got just regular on-staff writers to come in and write it. And I say probably because they really weren't heard from afterwards again, and I'm not kidding. Go look it up. Mm-hmm. Then you have these directors who, before this was like their biggest thing. After this was like their biggest thing. So, and now I'm not putting anybody down. Anybody can fail at something or whatever, but this movie was so abysmally bad and so off the mark of what Super Mario Brothers was. It was kind of a crime in some ways, I'm pretty sure it could have been a 35th felony that was thrown on a Trump's record today.
Hey,
I'm just kidding. I'm being poignant.
I feel the pinpricks of poignancy.
I love it. So, hey, listen, I'm here to shock and awe.
Oh yeah, baby, hit him with everything you got. Operation Linebacker 2.
Yeah, fair. So they want to do a live action movie, and a big push for this was this isn't a game anymore, which was stupid. It just really was. Should have been animated, because how are you going to tell me that the Saturday morning cartoon show with Captain Lou Albano was more of a winner in the Super Mario Brothers world than this should have been? And that further proves my point to what I said earlier in the show, where a mix between animation and live action is probably your best bet when it comes to video games. Now, you should have done something along those lines, not with Captain Lou Albano. You can get some heavy hitting actors. You had Bob Hoskins, and Dennis Hopper and Lance Henriksen in this movie. And I love John Leguizamo, good actor too.
Oh yeah.
He was early and young, and
he was a baby. Yeah, he was still a young, fresh, wet behind the ears stand-up comedian.
Yeah. And that was how he kind of did things, a fast talking type of guy at that time. Now I love him. Now he's just like slow to the draw, and he's just like, he cuts you with a knife.
He's doing Daily Show, and he's so good.
Oh, he was good on it.
He did that whole week. It was awesome.
So to fix this, let's go the live action route.
Okay.
Right?
So we've got Bob Hoskins, who's already interacted on Roger Rabbit, so we know he can do this. I mean, this is his ballywick at this point.
First of all, calling everybody by their names in the games, and then calling it Dino Hatton. How you doing, everybody? I'm Dick Dino Hatton here.
Oh, it's his new name. There it is.
I have a new
alias, the new persona. I love it. Dick Dino Hatton. You know what I'm here to do? Make a movie. Get out of my way.
I am. You have no idea what's going to happen after the show is over. I have. That is happening.
I know it is. That's a shirt.
It is so much of a shirt that it's going to look like Manhattan, but as like if it were like a reptile's dong.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And let me fix this movie, because we're going. All right, let me fix this movie. So if you're gonna go this route, first off, it has to be an action heavy movie. And I love Bob Hoskins, but he does not have the body type for this. There were times when they put on the super boots, which made no sense, but whatever. They put on the super boots, and it was just kind of like, oh, Bob. Like John got it, but Bob. But I do love Bob Hoskins, great actor. Mm-hmm. He could have played a role in it, but probably more the bad guy. You need an action star. You can keep John Leguizamo, but I would tone it down. Like, he has to be more worried, and this can't be a who's going to be in the love story. Like, Princess Peach can't be living in Manhattan and not know who she is. Like, you need the forefront. You need to get them to the world. Okay, they're plumbers in the real world. What brings them down there? What happens? I think in his new movie, he kidnaps Luigi. But how are we going to get to this? What pushes them to do it? Well, in this situation, if you're going to get them to a different world and they're going to have to eventually save Princess Peach, somebody they have no idea who she is, maybe it's let me think outside the box here so that way you get them there, and it's got to be Mario's love interest. I would even give him a date. I would say like she would come to this world, this realm sometimes. Like you can have two realms. It's not underground. It's stupid. It's so stupid what they did. And I'm trying to fix so much stuff on this, and
there's a lot. Every time you find a new thing, it's fun because there's another door that unlocks, and it's like, why did that part? I don't even get it.
I mean, you could even do it something as simple as they go on a job and they get sucked in. It's happened in Jumanji. It's happened in so many things. So you can make it fun in that sense and make it so simple. I don't even know why I'm trying to fix this so much.
The first 10 minutes, you can literally just walk into it.
You don't
even have to. You're there.
You're doing it. This other realm is connected through the pipes. And that's why you have the pipes, the warp pipes there in the other world. But now you're going to make the world look like this. But I would actually make it more like in the vein, of course, updated, of Wizard of Oz. It's a real world, granted it's a set. I know people. I know anybody who's bitching at me about this. I get it. I understand. So probably better than you at some points. This is Dick Dino Hatton. You better get with it. So
easy. You pump the brakes. We're not ready for that release yet.
No, I had to do it. Dick Dino Hatton's going to be my alter ego. That's just really like arrogant. Aggressive. He's going to be like Ric Flair.
Yes, I love it.
So I'm gonna have like an open shirt. I'm gonna do my hair up. It's gonna be the whole thing
naturally.
So for me, I am going into this. They get sucked in, and the worlds are kind of being decimated by the Bowser character, who is basically just going to be the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah.
Now, what do they want from Mario? Maybe he picks up something like the red. This is how I would kind of fasten together, like the red shoes. Somebody, Toadstool or whoever. I don't want to put the Munchkin thing into it, but Toadstool shows up. He's more animated, and it was 1993, and Jurassic Park came out in 1993. So you can't tell me you can't put money into it where you can make it look somewhat good or have some cool practical effect.
Yep,
you could. So you can have a Toadstool type person, and he gives them something that Bowser really wants. And now Bowser's got the princess, and it's like, hey, listen, Mario, you want to get out, you got to go through him. He blocks the portal or whatever it is, and he wants what you got, and the princess and blah, blah, blah. So Mario's like all in it. But I would make Luigi not in it at all.
Oh, you're not going to have Luigi, or you're going to have Luigi
when
he shows...
I'm done. I don't want to do this. We need to get out of here.
So what if when Luigi shows up, it's at the very end, and it's when Mario comes out of the warp pipe, and he's like, "You'll never believe what happened," and then you cut, and that's your movie.
No, I would keep him. I would keep him in there.
You still have him in there? Okay.
Yeah, I would have him in there because he's going to be that sort of sidekick relief.
And you need the bros. It can't be Mario Brothers without.
Yeah.
And even though it's his first name and last name, I guess.
Yeah, Mario. And Luigi Mario. You have Luigi there because he is going to play that sidekick role, but he's very afraid. And through it, I would pick him up by saying, like, Mario's the type of guy who's so hard-headed he's going to get the job done. He wants to get home. He wants to do his thing. Maybe he has things he has to save at home, whatever. But he has to go. And also, he's getting messed with a lot. I would make his persona that gung-ho, let's do it hero type persona. No matter how he looks or what we do with him. I'm not making him the Rock in this. Like I'm saying, like maybe like a stockier guy plays the role, but it has to be more action oriented.
Yeah, like a Dolph Lundgren.
I think this is a little too pretty for Mario.
No, I gotcha. Jim Belushi.
First off, I love John Leguizamo, but I would get Italian actors to play the Italian plumber role that they were going for. and there's no shortage of them at that time in 1993, especially young ones. John Turturro could have played a great
John Turturro, been amazing.
Luigi.
Yeah.
You know,
John Goodman is Mario. Whoa.
That is
Whoa.
No. I said stockier, not me. Calm down. So you have it. So really, if I'm going to fix that movie,
Yeah. Just that movie.
just that movie, there would be some recastings. There would be a different way of how they get in and what they're doing and why they have to achieve their goal. But I would make it very similar to what Wizard of Oz was. It's a simple premise. It brings you in. You get sucked into it. Instead of a tornado, it's a vortex that they get pulled into. They have to go and defeat Bowser so that way they can get their way home. And save the princess. Maybe the other king is there because Lance Henriksen played the other king in it. And he's like, I'm not helping you get home until you defeat Bowser. He's got the magic right now, or if it's not magic, it's science, whatever stupid thing was trying to play. I would make it magic. You got to go stop him, and you got to get my daughter back, or you're not going anywhere. And that is why he's gung-ho. He's ready to do it. He's a man of action. And his brother is like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. This is crazy. We're going to die. Mm-hmm. And then through it, you see a lot of change in him becoming a hero and a lot of change in Mario where he's realizing like, yes, I'm being a hero because I'm headstrong and stubborn and I just want to drive through. But maybe now it's like, no, these people need help. That's why I'm here.
Oh, I like that. It kind of turns with that Magnificent Seven spin at the end. Okay. Yeah. I dig that. He winds up protecting the Toadstools by taking out the king.
Now, normally
or at least
time.
Pushing it back. Yeah.
This is usually the time where I'm like, hey, did I fix it? But clearly, when it comes to 1993's Super Mario Brothers, I could have thrown crap at the wall and it would have been fixed.
Everything would have been better than what they did. So yes, Mick, congratulations. You fixed Super Mario Brothers.
Well, thank you, sir. And I appreciate you.
A very humble opinion. As we reach the end of our glorious show, a wonderful evening again, as always.
Well, before we go, don't jump on it too quick because I want to make sure everybody understands and knows that we are, of course, live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. on our Patreon now. You can watch or listen to this on our YouTube channel or any podcast platform afterwards. But I want to keep you guys privy to the fact that we do have a new show. We just came out last month, and that's Warp Factor Fiction. If you're a Star Trek fan, we are doing a chronological analysis of the history of Star Trek on screen. That means we are watching everything in chronological order, and we are discussing it. And if you guys are not on our Patreon, you should go check it out because we got plenty of other cool perks too. But we have another show on our YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe there. And that is our short mini show, our companion show, if you will, to Warp Factor Fiction, Quarter Impulse, where we talk about different aspects of the Star Trek universe, whether it's in or out with the makers of it. And we really get into it. So I just wanted to tell you guys that.
They are great shows, so make sure to check them out. We have a great time making them, and it's it's important that we keep entertaining. So let us know how we're doing.
Yeah, man. Well, I did cut you off, and I feel bad about that because you are our good night man, and I want you, if you will, to please take it away, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you all for joining us as we ran a little long this evening because we had a whole lot to fix with that movie, and I think Mick nailed it. It is a pleasure, as always, y'all, that we're able to do this and continue to provide some fun and entertainment for you. Hopefully, we brought a bright, shining light of joy and funny into whatever kind of great day you're having, and hopefully it continues being even better. So, as always, my friends, whether you're listening evening, afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it may be, it's a pleasure as always. Thank you, and make sure to be kind to yourself, and please be kind to each other.
And as always, I can't say it better than myself. Just go down and check the links down below, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Take care.